Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 152, Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and here on the top, Cobra number 152, and that nice carbon fibery looking background there. And then here on the front, we've got a nice practical photography shot of the figure and vehicle. Here we have a nice little window of the figure. Product does not fly. What? My God, I feel so cheated. Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw, covert light aerial weapon. G.I. Joe Classified Series Hasbro print. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. On the bottom here, let's see what this is. Small, fine, legalese print made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. And then over here it says multiple sets shown, each sold separately. And then there it says it again in lots of stuff I don't read. Recycle, a symbol I don't know and don't care. And then here we have some nice artwork of Cobra Pilot on the claw. G.I. Joe Classified Series number 152. Then on this side, that same artwork again, just colored a little bit differently. And the skill sets, I'm guessing, of just the Pilot number 152. Cobra, there is QR code if you want to scan it. Parents, it may take you to gijoe.com, or it may just take you to shop.hasbro.com. And then here we have G.I. Joe Classified Series at the bottom. On the back, number 152, Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw, covert light aerial weapon. Nice digital renders all around, part of a Cobra. So look at all those nice digital renders. Then here at the bottom, attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octone, don't stick anything in any language pie hole that does not belong there. I don't know why I stumbled all over that. I've said it so much. Don't give it to baby. Some more small, fine, legalese made in China print. And then includes vehicle and 8 pieces, and figure with 9 pieces. Woohoo! And then parents, gijoe.com. Because of the asterisk. And there was an asterisk here. It actually said parents right there. Oh well. Well, there you have it, my friends. A facetious look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure, the accessories, and the vehicle. And first up, we have Handy Dandy Toys. Just help us take a look at the accessories. So let's take a look at the smaller ones first. We have the sidearm, which is nothing new. We've seen this piece before, and it does have nice molded details on it, and it's a more realistic than some weapons that we get in the line. So there's that. Next up, we have the suppressor, and it has a port. No, it doesn't. It looks like a port, but it's just a molded detail. And then, but there is a port on the back side for it to slide on to weapons. And I do believe it works with this one. That's why it has the extended barrel on it. So yes, it does work with that. Next up, we have the Uzi, which we have seen before with Snake Eyes. And again, it's a realistic looking weapon. Nice molded details. You definitely, if you grew up in the 80s, you definitely know the look of this gun. Not just from G.I. Joe, but from practically every movie and TV show from the time. The suppressor also, just like with Snake Eyes, works with the Uzi. Next up we have this rifle. Is it a rifle or shotgun? I'm not 100% sure, but I think we've seen this in the line before. I don't remember where. Not with these particular colors on them though. So there is that. It does have that realistic kind of look to it with all these Picatinny rails on it. So pretty cool for the most part. And then it also has a canister here. And yeah, it must be a shotgun because, well, no, it's not a shotgun. I don't think, unless it goes this way. So nice barrel canister for this gun. And let's see how it goes in. Does it go in this way? No, it don't go in that way, I don't think. Well, I guess it does. So I guess it could be a shotgun. If you put it in that way, you got the brass pieces on the back. If you don't want it to be a shotgun, maybe it goes the other way as well. Let's see. It goes that way, but it looks weird to me. So we'll put it this way and say it's a shotgun. Since we don't get many shotguns in the line anyway. Next up, she has some alternate heads. And this one is pretty much the same as the one that's on the figure, but the eye color and the complexion of the skin is different. Other than that, you know, it's got these black paint apps on it, and it's got some nice details for the face. It's got a little bit of paint apps there on the mask as well. Then we have this head, which is the pilot's mask head, where she's got her breathing equipment and her goggles on. Although it's weird that this head looks like this, and it's supposed to be the same as this, but we don't have these details on it. So that's, I don't know, weird. Like they weren't paying attention, but it's got nice silver paint apps on it for the goggles and a couple of places for the breathing equipment. Next up we have her helmet, and which looks like an officer's helmet. It's got that nice silver paint app there on the V, and a nice, I'm guessing it's red. I'm colorblind, don't make fun of handicapped people. So it looks kind of red to me. And then next up, this is really more for the vehicle, but we'll go ahead and cover it. It's got a nice post on it right there, and some paint on it right here. It's made out of this translucent plastic material here, and it's supposed to be a jet exhaust, but I wonder, could it also be a shotgun blast? That's a heck of a shotgun though. So there's two of those, and they're the same. And the last accessory, at least for the figure, is oddly a stand. So they don't, you know, outside of the retro stuff, they really don't include these, but for some reason this figure got one. It's got a nice Cobra stamped into it and 2-foot pegs. So nothing we haven't seen before in the line. So let's take a look at the figure real quick. And again, you can see this one has, I think, different colored eyes. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, different colored eyes, and of course the skin complexion is darker on this one. This is the head that comes on the figure as you pull her out of the pack. Other than that, the details are the same paint apps on the mask and on the, well, I guess that's the faceplate, and this is the hood. So she's wearing this overlay here, and it's got, you know, paint apps on it a little bit. I'm assuming this blue is a paint app, and it's got the nice big Cobra Tampo on it. We've got this wrist piece. I think we've seen this before, but I'm not gonna swear to that, but I'm pretty sure we've seen it before. It's got a nice, maybe it's a tampo or maybe it's a sticker, I can't tell, but it's a location finder, and then it's got some buttons on it with some paint apps, and then a strap, some blue going on here and black, and then down the legs as well. She's got a holster here for a sidearm, and of course she's got a port in her back. So as far as the accessories go, whether, you know, she wears the helmet and doesn't, okay, so it's on there pretty good now. I had some not great luck with it previously. And then her sidearm goes in her holster, and that's basically all the storage she has. Her other weapons she just has to hold or do without. Yeah, you see there, the helmet doesn't like to fit. So there's that. That's weird. So let's get to the main event, which is the claw itself. And as you can see, it's got some landing gears on it. It rolls pretty freely. It doesn't roll far, but it rolls, you know, the wheels roll freely. So it's got this piece here on the top. And you know, before I move on to that, I forgot to take a look at the articulation of the figure. But you know, if you're G.I. Joe Classified, you pretty much know. So we'll just go over it real quick. Just take the helmet off because it's going to fall off anyway. She's got a dumbbell at the neck, which allows her to look up that far, which isn't great for flying. Look down that far. The neck is a separate piece as well. She's got chicken neck. She's got some waggle. Butterflies at the shoulder. Go back that far. Go forward that far. So hardly any at all. 360 degrees of rotation there at the shoulder. And she can raise her arm up slightly past 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for another 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow. And it gives you all the bend. So that's cool. Trigger finger hands on both sides. 360 degree rotation there at the wrist, and it's up and down hinge and up and down hinge. So that's cool. So I'm guessing there's a hinge. Is it the hinge? I think there's a hinge in the torso here, and then there's a half dumbbell or ball joint, whatever you want to call it, there at the waist. It allows her to bend back that far, forward that far. The harness gets in the way a bit. She got 360 degrees worth of rotation. Did I just mess something up? I don't know if I did or not. It could have rotated in here. So she's got plenty of hula. She leans left and right. All that good stuff. Pull down hinge at the hips. That gives her that much of the splits. Not quite the full splits, almost. She kicks forward that far, which is approximately 90 degrees, and then back about one full of her own steps or feet, length of her foot. Cut at the upper thigh here for another 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless knee, and gives you that much bend. Then at the upper shin, there's a boot cut for another 360 degrees of rotation, and then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and she does have a pin for rocker. So the next time we take a look at this figure, she'll be flying. So let's go ahead and pop that head off and pop the pilot head on. So there we go with that. Now let's take a look at the claw. So I have to say, there's nice molded details throughout it. It does have a few paint apps. It's got some tampos here and here and here and here, and some paint apps right here and here and here, and some right here and right here, and these stripes. Paint apps here on the engines, it looks like. And then danger! Intake, danger, fire. Danger, fire. And then a little paint app right here on the harness, the little red Cobra logo. We do have the missiles. They are removable, and they look like missiles. They do have a port in the back for a flame effect or blast effect, whatever you want to call it. So I guess you could do that, but that's a lot of exhaust for this little missile, it looks like, in my opinion. And then it's tight and it doesn't want to come out. Wow. That sounded, you know, adult. So then it's got, you know, the, what do they call it, the dog bone, I guess. I don't remember. I never called it that, but I guess that's what it looks like, dog bone. So it fits right on there. And we got some details right here, and then just nice molded details throughout. It's a little more paint apps right here. These are molded in black. These are molded in colors along with the wheels as well. And these pieces here, you can see where it's screwed together. And no, this piece doesn't open up. Oh, some paint apps back here and back here as well. So overall, I mean, it's a nice looking version of the claw. Oh, also a little paint app right here, because this is supposed to be like a camera, I guess, like you would see on a drone. So I guess you can drone fly this as well, which was a feature on the original, but no big bomb. I want to say there was a big bomb that fit where the figure went when it was being used in the drone mode. So let's take a look at some of the other features. This piece is a little disappointing. It lifts up and it doesn't really stay down, and when you lift it up, it moves the camera around, which you can move, you know, without using that. But you know, you get some spin on this. It goes about that far before it stops unless you pull it up, and that way. I've got some lift on this one. This one is stationary, and they do have ports in the barrel for blast effects. These flaps move up and down, and they're separate pieces in the box that you have to affix to them, but they just clip on. It's like a C-clip, and you just clip it on the post. And the same on this, you know, it folds up. And I don't think that's more for steering. I think that's more for like its storage, because the originals, instead of bending up like this, they had the extra wing piece slid out from the inside, so there was a little bit of it sticking out and you could pull it out the rest of the way to extend it all the way. So again, I talked about the wheels. They spin pretty freely, molded in proper colors, and then they're also on a ball joint here, so you can twist them and turn them. But when it's in, you know, when it's flying, you put them in. These you have to turn and then put in. These just go down, although they don't really. I would like them to sit more flush inside, but these outside wheels do not do that. It's also got these steering pieces right here, will rotate around, so you can do whatever with it. And you just heard this. So the handles are also adjustable up and down. So that's pretty cool. I think so anyway. So let's see how hard it is to get a pilot in the cockpit, I guess. Not really a cockpit. Strapped in. We'll say strapped in, because that's all we're really doing is just strapping them in, which is a slight bit better than the original, which, you know, they just pegged in, but, you know, they usually stayed pretty well on that, unless for some reason the holes were kind of worn out from maybe using accessories too much. So you don't have to worry about with this one, you just have to worry about these straps breaking. But since this pilot is a smaller figure, you know, it cinches up pretty tightly and they overlap just a bit. And then I guess you put our arms up. You bring these to her hands. And slide our arms, well, not our arms, slide our hands over it. And there's how the pilot sits in it. I wouldn't think they would do it that way, because it seems like this might be a bit of a heavy piece of equipment. As you can see, she's kind of in there cattywampus because of the straps and her gear. So not bad, not great. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh, I didn't mention that earlier. I forgot to. So it's claw on it. It's got a claw, tampo. And then on this side it's got Cobra. So there we have it. The Cobra Claw and pilot, my friends. I guess I shouldn't have made her land like that. I could have put the wheels out, but I'm not gonna. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Claw pilot with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Valkyrie 2-pack and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Cobra the Enemy. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Claw pilot with the Valaverse Action Force Special Deployment Series Swarm Sentry and the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Scarab. Here's some vehicle comparisons. This is how the Cobra Claw compares up with the Cobra Flight Pod and the Cobra Ferret. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Claw pilot from the Cobra Claw pilot and Cobra Claw 2-pack, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Claw and Claw pilot, I will have to say, you know, between the Claw and the Trouble Bubble in a Real American Hero line, you know, those were two of my favorite Cobra, you know, small Cobra vehicles, along with the Fang. I use that one a lot as well. And, you know, I have to say, the Claw, even back then, was a pretty simple vehicle. And, you know, this one is a pretty simple vehicle as well. It's got some minor tweaks to the original's design, I suppose. I do like that it, you know, has the handlebars or the steering yokes, whatever you want to call it. You know, they do move where you can get it in the figure's hands better. They carried over the steering fins on the, you know, the very front of it from that original. I think it's a bit of an upgrade that the wingtips are hinged rather than pull out like the original. I'm not 100% sure how I like the landing gears. I mean, it's reminiscent of the original. I think that one only had one set of gears though, but I could be mistaken. It's been many years since I've looked at it. The gun on the top, that's a new thing, and I like that. It makes sense as a modern upgrade to this vehicle. The straps are okay. The pilot, being a smaller figure, you know, it's you have to tighten it down a little bit more, and it kind of cattywampus her. And I'm glad it's a bigger harness in the vehicle so that, you know, male figures can use it as well. But I don't know, it seems like they chose the wrong pilot for this, but the smaller vehicles seem to be getting the smaller operators. Just like the Ferret came with a female figure, this one comes with a female figure. So I don't know, I guess they're just trying to get their use out of that Valkyrie mold, and you know, it's entirely possible. Now I will say this, Hasbro, because I know you're watching and hanging on every single word that I say. You don't have to include a pack-in figure with every single small vehicle. You don't have to do it. In the original line, these smaller vehicles like this did not come with a pack-in figure. This one, the Trouble Bubble, the Fang, you know, none of those came with a pack-in figure originally. You know, like the medium to larger size vehicles, yes, they did, and I understand that. You know, they have, you know, Clutch drives the Vamp, Crankcase, is it Crankcase drives the All Striker, Ace drives the Sky Striker. So, you know, they're the CoverGirl drives the Wolverine, Steeler drives the Mobat. I mean, so there are, you know, the medium to larger size vehicles did come with pack-in figures that made sense. This vehicle, the Trouble Bubble, the Fang, the Jump Jet pack, you know, there were lots of weapon sets and vehicles, smaller vehicles. The Ferret, Cobra Ferret, I should have mentioned that one too. That didn't come with a pack-in figure. The G.I. Joe's Ram Cycle, you know, it didn't. So you don't have to include a figure with every single vehicle release. And that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You may like the fact that they use that extra figure to jack the price up, and that's exactly what I feel like they're doing. It may not be the case, but you know, I feel like this offering would have been better without a pack-in figure. But again, that's just my take on it. Your mileage, of course, may vary, and that's fine. I feel like this vehicle at a cheaper price with no pack-in figure may have done better. It may not have, because it's a small single-person vehicle, and some people just don't go for that kind of stuff. But you know, I guess I've waxed on along. The one thing I find missing on this is the original had where the figures, you know, the figure peg where the figure pegged into the vehicle. It also came with an alternate piece that you could put in there. It was a little bomb. Or yeah, it was a bomb is exactly what it was. So, you know, I feel like that should have also been included, but alas, it's not to be. We got a figure instead, and you know, I'd say that like there's something wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this figure. I like this figure. I just feel like the fandom would be better served with some figure-free vehicle releases. But again, that's my opinion. Your mileage may vary, and you may completely disagree with me, and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's okay. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.